Most people's first AI project fails for a reason that nobody wants them about. It's not because the model was too weak, because the model replied with a paragraph and their code required a field. They asked it to extract a customer's name and the priority from an email, and it cheerfully wrote as, "Sure, it looks like this message is from Pia, and it seems fairly urgent, probably a billing issue." Now, those kind of messages are lovely for a human, but it is useless for a software. You can't reliably parse that. You can't route on it. And the moment you try, you're writing fragile string matching hacks that break the next day. So, this is the step two. And it's the step where the AI stops being a chat toy and becomes something that you can actually run your program on. So, this is the video number two of our Agentic AI roadmap. So the step one was basically our Python programming. And the step two is your first real contact with the model itself. That is calling an LLM API from the code, instructing it well, and getting back something that is structured. And I want to be clear about why this comes so early. So, if you think about it, every single step after this, that is tools, RAG, workflows, multi agent, depends on the model that is generating the output. So, the next piece of your system can actually consume from the output that you're getting from the LLM. So, you need to get this right so that everything downstream is as clean as possible. And if you get it wrong, you'll be duct taping the strings together for months. So, as you start preparing for the agentic AI role, so first, the reassuring bit, calling an LLM is just like calling an any API. You send in the request with your instruction, you get the response back. That's it. There are a few concepts inside it which is worth knowing when you're working with the LLM's API, that is system prompt. Now, system prompt are basically the instruction that shapes as how your model behaves. Like think of it as the job description. Then you will have a user prompt, the actual request for that specific call, messages, that is the conversation so far. So if there is one, that's how your memory is going to work as well. Like think of it as the collection of the messages or the conversation. Tokens is how your model counts the text. Now, this matters because based on the token, you will be billed. And there's a limit per call. We call it as the context window. There's also another key thing that you have to be aware that's called as temperature. Think of it as how much variation you want. So you keep it as low for extraction as well as the classification kind of task. You keep it as high for creative work. So if you have ever integrated any third party API, none of this is foreign. The only genuine model adjustment that you need to make is that in a normal scenario, the output is, I'll say, deterministic. Like for the same input, you'll be getting the same output. But in the case of LLM, the output is probabilistic. That means if you ask the same question twice, you can actually get slightly different wording, which can lead directly to the main event that is data. That is the prose problem. The reason that this is fatal, the probabilistic behavior of the model, why this is fatal, because by default the LLM talks the way like a person would talk, like flowing sentences, varied phrasing. Sometimes it also adds a friendly preamble too. Sometimes it traps things inside a markdown. Sometimes it explains its reasoning when you didn't ask. Now, every one of those variations is going to break your code. If your program is looking for a priority level and the model says has high on Monday and high priority on Tuesday and quite urgent on Wednesday, you don't have a system. You have a coin flip with extra steps. Now, for this, the fix over here is the structured output. Instead of asking the LLM for an answer, you ask for an answer in a specified shape and the format, like specific fields, specific type, every single time. Like name, Priya, category billing, urgency, high. Like in such scenario, it is clean, predictable, and parsable. And third insight is the three levers that will give you this reliable structure. The first lever is describing the shape in an explicit manner. Don't just say as extract the details, say which fields you want, what is the type of each field, and what is the allowed values are. Urgency must be one of, let's say, low, medium, high, so that you constrain the space. And the second lever is use the platform's structured output feature. So the modern LLM APIs help you to enforce a schema rather than politely requesting one. So this is a huge difference between hoping and knowing. And this is one of the single highest leverage thing that you can do it in this step. And layer number three is validate on the way in. So even with enforcement, so you need to treat the model's output like any other untrusted input. You have to parse it, you have to validate it against the expected shape and decide what happens if it doesn't match. So you would already do this with the third party APIs, right? You need to implement the same instinct. And the fourth insight is prompting is just precise delegation. So prompting is about giving the clear instruction. That's it. The same skill that you would be using it for briefing your team. That's the same thing. If you provide a vague brief, a vague output. Precise brief, good output, right? So here, whenever you are working with the prompt, ensure that you state the role and the goal, like you extract structured data from the support email. Provide the constraint. This can be format, length, allowed values, and what to do when unsure. Show an example of good input and the good output. This is enormously effective. Say what to do with the edge cases. And that's how you provide or build any good prompt. Now, where do the people would often go wrong? See, the first trap is pras- parsing the prose with string tricks, like writing the code that searches for high in the response text. Now, it would work in testing, but when a reply phrases it in a different and your logic silently does the wrong thing, you will find yourself in a wrong place. So instead, use the structured output. And second trap is no plan when it doesn't comply. Because even with the good setup, occasionally you will get something unexpected from the LLM because that's the nature of these LLM. They are probabilistic in nature. So decide upfront whether it should be retry or fall back to the default or for flag for human. Now, that decision is the engineering, and that is what separates a demo from something that survives when it is contacted with reality. Now, the third trap is burying instruction inside one giant trap. So people stuff rules, example, edge cases, actual task in one enormous wall of text. And then they wonder as why my model is ignoring the half of it. So separate your persistent instruction from the specific request. Keep it structured and readable. If you find hard, let's say if you find your prompt is hard to follow, so does your model as well. So how do you know that you have got this second step? If you're comfortable in calling an LLM from code with the system prompt and the user prompt, and get back the structured output with defined fields in a reliable across many different input, validate the output and handle the cases where it doesn't match, and explain why this structured output matter to another engineer in one sentence, I'll say you're ready in the step number two. The last one is actually the real text. Okay, if you can explain why, then you have understood it rather than copied it. So just like I gave you a practice task for this step number one. Similarly, I'm sharing you this practice task for this step number two. Build a small extractor, like take a real messy real world text. It can be support email, meeting notes, a job description, whatever that you have. Build something that calls an LLM and returns a consistent structured output. Like you can have a few named fields. You'll have one field that is constrained to a fixed set of values. And the important part is you need to run it on 10 different inputs. See how it works, tighten the instruction until the shape is stable every single time. Now that exercise, watching it fail, tightening it, that teaches you more about how we to work with LLM than week of reading or going through hundreds of tutorials. So first thing, if you're new to this channel, go ahead and download the complete study guide, especially for this roadmap. So all 9 steps that we have mentioned over there, the skills map, the project idea, and the self-assessment. So I wanted to go ahead and download it. And if you're, and this steps that I'm describing is part of our 5 days of Agentic AI playlist that we have created on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and watch it if you're new in this Agentic AI. Now, the honest bit, you can absolutely work through these 9 steps yourself. The map is free, the pieces are out there, but doing it alone means you're the one who is sequencing it, guessing whether your approach is correct or not, losing the evenings to the things where someone might have unblocked you in seconds. Now, that's a structure and the feedback problem, and that's not a knowledge problem. If you'd rather not piece it together alone, that's what this Agentic AI Developer Bootcamp is built for. So it's a 6 week sequence working as a one connected system. It's a live hands on where you will build something at the end of every single week. All right. And on this step specifically, it's week one of the bootcamp is going to do exactly this. That is LLM API foundations, prompt design, system and user prompt, structured output, and JSON response engineering. And you finish that week with working structured output AI assistant as your first artifact. The next cohort is going to start on 16th of August 2026, weekends 8 to 11 a.m. IST. You can read the full curriculum at the link and see if it fits you. Enroll before the first session so that you can unlock the Python preparation module immediately. And if it's not the right time for you, that's completely fine. The guide is free and this series keeps going. So in our step number 3, that is tool calling and MCP, that's the layer where your model stops from just talking and starts doing things. Now that's the one where it properly clicks. So go ahead and build something. And with this, we come to the end of this video, folks. I'll see you next time.